This slow but steady walk down the hallway has happened nearly every day for the past few months, but it is nothing short of a medical miracle. Yay. And no one is happier about it than 3-year-old Chase Britton, except maybe mom and dad.
We've been told an awful lot from folks that seem to know or should know what he should be able to do, and what he's doing is not that.
And with each measured step, Chase is changing what top doctors and researchers around the world thought they knew about the brain.
There are some very bright, specialized people across the country and in Europe that have put their minds to this dilemma and are continuing to do so. And we haven't come up with an answer, so it is a mystery.
A medical mystery emerging from within a family that had already seen more than its fair share of heartbreak. In 2006, the Britton's second child, Trey, died just 4 weeks after he was born. But doctors said the couple was cleared to try again.
We just knew that this is what we wanted to do.
And they said flukes don't happen twice.
Yeah, lightning doesn't strike twice.
But sometimes it does. This time the pregnancy's complications came early, but when Chase was born after 35 weeks, doctors said he was healthy. The only handicap, he was legally blind.
And the doctor called me and I said, that's okay. And he said, did you hear me? And I said, yeah. I said, we can handle that.
Throughout Chase's first year, though, Heather says something else seemed off.
We knew that he was developing a little slower. We thought it was because of the pregnancy. He was very small when he was born. He was only 3 pounds.
Worried that he might have mild cerebral palsy, Chase's doctor ordered an MRI. The results were expected to take weeks. The call came the next day.
And he said, this is much more complicated than we expected and very hard to explain.
Chase appeared to have a condition that isn't once incredibly complicated and very simple.
The cerebellum is essentially absent.
The cerebellum, it's the part of the brain responsible for motor control, balance, coordination, emotional control, and now doctors believe it plays a role in language and learning. On top of that, Chase is also missing his pons. That's the part of the brainstem that regulates basic functions like sleeping and breathing.
Talk about the world crashing down on you all over again.
You assume it means that he's going to die. You know, you just assume that it's the worst because it happened before. So we have 16 weeks, 18 weeks, and 21-week images.
It was bewildering enough that Chase's cerebellum was gone. But because of the complicated pregnancy, the Brittons say they have plenty of proof in the form of ultrasound pictures that at some point the cerebellum was there.
Area here is fluid.
And that is part of the puzzle that has been eluding Dr. Audrey Duplessis, a physician at the top of his field. He's chief of fetal and transitional medicine at Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C.
That is actually a fundamental part of the dilemma is if there was a cerebellum, what happened to it?
Hi, thank you so much.
Dr. Duplessis has been meeting with the Brittons for the past 2 years on the case that he says is challenging fundamental principles. But with so much interest in Chase internationally, Dr. Duplessis believes the impact could reach far beyond the smiling 3-year-old.
It is cases like this that rally the support of the medical community, and those repercussions obviously will have an impact on a much broader population of kids.
It's a nice ducky.
There's still no official diagnosis, and it's not clear if the condition is genetic or a result of a fetal injury.
I think the more we learn about these problems, we find how little we've known all along, and how things are not as clear-cut as we initially thought.
But for Chase's part, he continues to amaze his doctors, his teachers, nearly everyone who meets him.
I'm in awe of him every day because things that, based on that diagnosis, he shouldn't be able to do, he is doing. I mean, walking up and down the hall, riding a bike, holding a pencil or a pen to work on projects, using scissors. He cuts better than I do. I mean, it's just amazing.
One of his biggest supporters is big brother Alex.
He acts like a normal kid. He's not really acting like he doesn't have a cerebellum. He acts normal, if you ask me.
And that's why Chase's parents continue to push forward.
There's constant surprises. You can't stop and say, this is it. You have to keep expecting those.
And he keeps showing us. I mean, I think it's safe to say that I've got great expectations for him.
Okay, where's the big one, Chase?
And with each day seems to come a new accomplishment. Chase has a vocabulary of about 60 words. He's potty training, and he seems to have an intuitive understanding of his new iPad.
He could not sit up forever. He would get up. He could get up and then topple right over the other way. Then he'd get up and topple right over because he doesn't have that balance center of his brain.
But he has the drive to keep trying it on his own. And that's the one thing about him that's extraordinary is he has drive like I've never seen.
But the drive in this house didn't start with Chase.
They've always struck me with how dedicated they are and how committed they are to this youngster.
You've got to advocate for your kids. If there's something you want for your kids, don't let anybody tell you differently. Just find a way to make it happen, because there's a way.
It's not clear yet if Chase will ever be able to live independently. Dr. Duplessis says it's possible, if only because, in this case, he's come to expect the unexpected.
Our geneticist in Buffalo told us to start a college fund, because you never know. And so that's, our hope for him. My hope is that he grows up socially aware and happy and with lots of friends, and he's already got all of those things.
Heather says Chase is continuing to learn every day. His latest project is reciting the alphabet. And when he's not in school, he's learning to drive his new electric wheelchair. His parents say one day they'd like to know an official diagnosis, but for now, they're just taking life with their smiling son one day at a time. Sarah Hopkins, Channel 2 News, Daybreak.